Welcome to Success in Motion. Join us as we dive deep with top leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals, uncovering strategies to grow, scale, and succeed.
Welcome back to the Success in Motion podcast. I'm your host, Alex Burhoe, and today we are joined by Adam Hillier. They're doing some pretty awesome stuff. He and his wife have an optometry clinic that they are going, and they're doing lots of really good stuff there, as well as he has two kids that likes to keep him nice and busy. So, Adam, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Adam, can you just give us a quick snapshot of your business, of your life? Catch us up on what you're working on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been snapshot's gonna be a little tough. It's been quite a wild ride. Coming out of college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I just, wanted to make money. It was always hard to come by. I wanted to figure out how to hang on to it. So I figured if I learned how a business operated, that would lead to success, and found out that I was wrong. And so after going through a few different jobs and bouncing around, and I realized one of the things that was really consistent is I wanted to be my own boss. I had a lot of good ideas and couldn't quite figure out how to make that happen. During that time, my now wife was actually in medical school trying to get her license in optometry. And this was a big dream of hers. And I told her we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. So at one point, I think I was up to three different jobs, but most of the time, two different jobs to help make the household run, get her through the school, all that kind of good stuff to make that happen. And then when she finally graduated, she started practicing, and we kind of put our dreams together and we decided to purchase an optometry practice. So both of our goals can happen. And it's been awesome, and it's been a wild ride, and we've had so much to learn from it. It's been really crazy from there, but we're super excited to be going through it. And and yeah.
Awesome. So there's a lot of competition out in the optometry space, right? There's a lot of different doctors out there.
Yeah,
What are you
that's
guys?
been fun to purchase it.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. And so, what are you guys trying to do to kind of separate yourselves or make you guys stand out?
So to explain that, kind of went back a little bit into us buying our practice and kind of how we got there. So the first practice that we thought we were going to purchase, we actually did all the LOI stuff, and my wife thought that this would be a good practice to purchase. There were some cool things going on, and we thought there's some things maybe we could fix to make it better. And so we spent all the money on the LOIs and to get it appraised and all that stuff. And that specific provider put all of our paperwork and thousands of dollars in this really cool wasket, or like kind of like basket at the end of the desk, with a bunch of crumpled up papers with holes in it. And we thought maybe ours was important because it wasn't crumpled up, but it was in fact also in the trash can. So it was kind of a slap in the face a little bit for our first attempt to kind of get treated like that. And we had kind of a few other obstacles that I don't really need to get into. Um, Trying to find other practices, whether the challenge was with the provider or with us or the bank, whatever it could be. But the one commonality that we found really was the overall practice and how business, especially Medicare, is being ran these days. A lot of times you have an appointment with the doctor at 10 o'clock, you get in at 9:50, you don't see the practitioner till 10:30, 10:45, you're leaving at 11:15, and that's just not how it goes. So we really take pride in giving you the best overall comprehensive exam that we can. We have a lot of ways to measure a lot of different health in the eyes, and make sure that when somebody makes an appointment with us, that that time slot is theirs. We don't double book. We don't do anything like that. When we talk about expanding and try to network through our business, the biggest complaint that we get is you need to cut down your time and cram more people in and make it grow. And we just tell them no. If that's the advice you're going to give, we don't really want to work with you. We're trying to find ways to make it different. We really are family owned. During the process of buying a business, we do also have two young kids. They're in the office sometimes stressing me out, trying to help patients find their right glasses and showing them what small fingerprints would look like on it and all that kind of good stuff. And so,
From the real life.
yes, this is what it looks like in real life, just so you know. And that's something that we wanted to bring, and we have that, and that's how we want to do it. When we talk about partnerships, we look for other small businesses in the area, and that's where we refer people to as well. When people come in, they can refer somebody to us, and we give them gift cards to local small businesses as well. You know we found ways to unite the community, and create something that is going to be a little bit different than that's out there. And so far we've had a lot of success with it, and when people interview with us, we tell them whether they're on the working side of the desk or the patient side of the desk, that they believe in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to create with us. And we want them to be a part of our team, no matter where they're at.
That's awesome. And again, I bet the patients really appreciate actually having your time during that appointment slot. I know sometimes it's easy to feel like a
Yes.
number.
Yes, it helps that she's amazing at what she does, and I gotta give her all the kudos in the world. And that definitely really helps with that. But it's something that we pass on to the other staff around, and they believe in our dream and our goal too. And you can really see it affected, in the office and the kind of culture we've created.
Yeah, that's great. So you talked a little bit about, you hiring people, making sure they're the right fit. Are you guys expanding or what's been going on there?
We are looking to expand. Hiring is a little bit difficult for us because it's just the two of us. So we were actually really flattered. We put a job posting online, and I want to say within the first 3 weeks, we had about 200 applicants.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot for me to go through by myself. I asked the toddler's opinion, and she likes them all. And we're trying to work through that, and with success, we've now reached an area where we want to expand. Um, During a lot of reading and studying, one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs is making a business run without them. And because she's so good at what she's done, we've gotten to that part where it's hard for us to run our business without us there. So we're just glorified underpaid employees at that time. But we've gotten a lot of positive reaction from both staff and patients with how we run our business. And now we're looking to expand already to a second location in that area. And with that, it allows us to take what we have and essentially make it an organization instead of just us being employees doing everything. And so we're excited to take that next step, and we're ready to go. And we've looked at a lot of different ways to make that happen. And so we're hoping that we'll be able to connect with somebody here in the valley that's likes what we're doing, likes all that good stuff, and is ready to trust us to take over theirs.
Awesome. That's good that you're doing well enough. You're looking to expand and even open up a new location. So let's say there's someone who's coming up behind you who wants to do what you're doing, build up an optometry clinic, get to the point where you can start expanding. What tips and tricks would you be giving someone who's just starting out?
Well, if they're going to the optometry, I'd probably refer them to actual optometrists and what that looks like, and give them a heads up. From a business standpoint and kind of running and making sure that everything's going, for me, it would just really have an idea of kind of what you want to do. So what we're noticing is when we try to hire other doctors, whether it's part time to help us at our current location or make connections for doctors full time for when we get a second location or whatever that could be. A lot of the conversation that we have is a lot of them are really scared to go into small business and ownership because they're so overwhelmed with the amount of loans that they have. Some of these loans are 100, 200, $500,000 to get through, your college, your medical school and all that stuff. And it's a very overwhelming number. And it can be, however, through the process, when you understand ownership and the time that it can bring and the potential that's there and the community that's behind you to make sure that it works, it's definitely consideration that needs to be taken. And if that's what you want to do, that's not for everybody. Some people really like going into the big box commercial. They make a much, much higher salary right away. And I think that's awesome. That's just not for us. Just if you're looking to go into actual ownership of the business, there's a lot to it from there. And I would just encourage you to really talk to other practice owners, figure out what you want. Don't be hesitant to be a partial owner at first, just to understand how things work, learn as much as you can, and things like that. So, with that knowledge, we've actually started looking into connecting with the school to up and coming grads and helping offer them a place to work to get under their feet, because you won't get accepted necessarily for a loan for a practice right away your first year out. So
Mhm.
for us to get this, I actually had to sell quite a bit of my investments for us to have enough liquidity to get approved for the business. So that's another thing to keep in mind there as well. So like I was saying, we want to work with some of those students and see if we can help them get their first practice, give them a place to work for a year, see what it's like, answer their questions. Maybe they just need an investor to get in, um, to get up and running, and then we can back out whenever it's needed. And so those are some of the things that we're looking at to help bring up and coming people and students into that area. And so we're definitely excited to fix that. That's new for us. It's Still brand new. We're trying to figure out what that looks like, but we're hoping to be able to make those connections and relieve some of that stress for others.
That's awesome. And that's great that you're looking at giving back already and training others and basically doing what you're doing. That's great. So, as you've been going along through this, what are some of the things that you think have come a little bit easier to you that might be a little bit harder for some of the other people, whether it's working in the couple relationship or what have you found come easy?
Uh, well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I did have a little bit of an advantage because I did have a lot of different jobs on all different levels, whether it was in the trenches, whether it was in a management, whether it was in a middle management role, working with all different age groups, things like that. It really helped me in the sense of what to look for, experience when it with budgeting, forecasting, managing people, things like that, kind of help put it together. But really nothing comes easy. I just assume that everything's going to be difficult. And if you do get the easy win, just be thankful that you got the easy win, excuse me. And just keep pushing forward from there because you're going to have quite a few tough days there.
That's fair. That is fair. So, with that, would you say have been some of the biggest challenges for you to overcome?
Understanding the rules, as funny as that sounds. Another practice that we were looking at, one of the owners said, we'd love to have, young up and comers buy this, but the bank wouldn't give us approval to buy the building that was owned as well. And that owner said, not a problem. You should get funding within 6 months based on our financial status. We said, awesome. We got super excited and obviously still couldn't tell anybody about it. And so we were, getting ready to write a thank you letter and go meet again. And that owner said, actually, I changed my mind. I don't want to work with you anymore.
Mm.
Uh, so the other challenge was working with the bank is getting approved for some of these practices are expensive. You're looking anywhere between maybe 500, 600 for a really small one to multi-million dollars. And so to get approved for that at such a young age definitely gets tough. And what's interesting is you need enough capital to make that happen. And so, you talk about investing and paying off debt and different things like that. And there's this interesting gray line to walk because you need enough capital in order to get approved for the rest of the loan. But you also need to be able to make sure you pay off enough debt and all that kind of good stuff, so that you're able to get what you need to keep moving forward. So that's definitely been a huge challenge to understand. How much cash do we need? Well, how do we pay off debt? What does that line look like? Especially just coming out of college and trying to start, or just introducing to the workforce and trying to get this stuff going. It was really hard to understand, and each bank has a different amount. Each bank, offered us a different amount of money, and what that looks like, and it was really really challenging to understand how that all worked.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would be quite a challenge to figure out all that money side and everything and figuring out how to work it. But so a lot of people that we have listening are also curious about the whole passive income. You've been talking a lot about your investments and where you've been trying to put stuff away. Um, what are your thoughts on, growing your passive income so it can help supplement or even replace your active income?
I think passive income is amazing. I think it's one of the best things. I also think it's a term that's really just kind of thrown around. People are like, "Oh, I just want to make passive income." There's got to be a way that people just send me money, and I don't do anything. And that's why it's so great when it happens. So for us, in our journey of that is starting investments for me a little bit earlier was more just stock market. First, it was getting the retirements maxed out, and then it was once I was able to hit that, who was able to start funding a taxable brokerage account, which is kind of my ace in the hole card. If we're ever short anything, if we're ever needing capital, it's as simple as attaching her to that or sending that over, getting approved for what we have. However, that's with the market. So being able to find passive income is a little bit different. Circling back to the fact that we need so much capital on hand to get approved for it, I don't like having large amounts of cash. I want to make sure that all of the dollars are being worked. And so we had been on the hunt to find companies, whether it's been private equity or whatever we can find that can help create that passive income for us. And one of the challenges that we found actually was we were not an accredited investor. And so we actually got turned down a lot for investment. Even though we had the cash, we didn't have that title. So that was really tough. So definitely somebody out there looking for passive income, don't be discouraged if you run into that. I ran into that so much. until we finally broke through and actually found a company that was willing to take a risk with us to create passive income for us to keep our capital. And we've been really happy with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for those listening, what's the name of that company that you found?
Yeah. Digital nomad capital, land investing. And I love what it is. I like buying land. My family, we definitely like going up and being a part of nature, essentially touching grass, getting out there and that kind of stuff. So a company that's actually doing that, and we love supporting that, and being able to make return on investment on that is awesome as well.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Adam, as we're wrapping up our interview, what big, what initiatives do you have coming up in the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months. Wow. So we are looking to make our. I'm looking to, let's see. First thing is we're looking to expand to get a second location. We're hoping to get something under contract in the next 6 or 12 months.
Mhm.
So with that, we'd be looking for um, essentially a full-time doctor and possibly a part-time doctor. So that'll be fun to connect with that. We're looking to introduce our company to the local medical school out here for optometrists as well. We're looking to make our third investments with Digital Nomad Capital, so that our capital is on hand, so that we have enough liquidity to be able, or excuse me, capital on hand to be able to purchase the next practice as well with that. And then we're also hoping to have a combined total of investments of over $250,000. We're hoping to do all that in the next 12 months and keep the two kids alive as well. So we definitely got a lot going on, and we're excited for the future and the journey. Just, I mean, it keeps getting harder, but it gets more and more rewarding as we keep going.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Lots of really cool stuff coming down the pipeline for you. So,
We hope so.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Adam, thank you so
It's
much.
all the opportunities that we've got. So, and we want to make sure we take advantage of them and learn something from each one that we can.
And honestly, that's the important thing. As long as you're learning from each thing that comes down the pipeline, you approach something, you figure it out, and move on. That's all you need.
It really is the hardest. Another difficult lesson for us to learn. We talk about hardest things to learn too. Was, for a while there we kept getting discouraged, and we thought we were just this accumulation of all these failures that we had, and really wasn't going to amount to anything. But being able to change our mindset and looking back and understand that we weren't, essentially all of our failures put together, but instead all of the lessons learned, and that's what allowed us to make the decisions and come the way that we have. Really definitely changed the mindset and allowed more doors to open up because we started looking at things as opportunities and lessons instead of failures.
That's a great mindset to have. And now look at you. You're looking at expanding to a second location and looking at growing your portfolio, like doing lots of really, really good stuff. I love
A
it.
lot has happened in the last 2 years, 3 years.
Good. Well, Adam, if anyone would like to connect with you more, what would be the best way they can get a hold of you?
The best way, I actually just got back into trying to log into social media, so you'd be more than welcome. I may not accept the friend request. I recommend just sending a message on there. On
Mhm.
Instagram, it's just simply a Hillier3. There's no post. During a lot of this, we shut down social media and put our heads to the ground and started grinding. But now that we really want to network and expand it and trying to come back to it so that we can make those connections and be available for other people. And whether you're in optometry, medical fields, or anywhere in the entrepreneurship journey, please reach out. We can talk. We can, piggyback off each other and just talk about, struggles that we've had. Sometimes it can be lonely. You can feel like you're the only person in there trying to grow the business, and you're not. So that's why you can't find us. We're all doing the same thing. So definitely reach out, and let's get together.
That's awesome. It's good to have a little community there with you.
Always.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And we would also like to thank our listeners for spending the time with us. And we will catch you all on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning into Success in Motion. Want to share your story? Visit successinmotionpodcast.com/guest to apply and be featured on the show.